If you want to grow strawberries, like and follow along for more videos on strawberries. And yes, I have plants in my fridge. That's a thing. But also save this video because there's definitely some information that might be useful for you. So here I am unpacking some bare root strawberries. Now you can buy live strawberry plants that are already existing plants in Home Depot or any nursery. Or you can buy something called bare root strawberries, which is kind of self-explanatory. It's the bare roots, and at the top of the root there is a brown nub that's called the crown. Now these plants, when they arrived, it said plant them the day you get them or put them in the fridge for no more than 7 days. Well, it was pouring for a couple of days after I got them, so I had to keep them in the fridge, and they were in there a little more than 7 days. And look what happened. They started to sprout. Your plants will usually not arrive with green sprouts on them. They'll arrive tightly compact like that. Not super tightly, they're just sort of compact like that. So all you have to do is gently coax them apart. And if the roots are, say, like 6 inches long, I don't do that. I just sort of lay the roots down. I maybe dig a hole that's like 2-3 inches deep. I lay the roots down. That little brown nub that I'm pointing to is called the crown. I bury the roots. I lay the roots kind of sideways, bury the roots, and you have to leave the crown above the soil. And obviously, if there's a bud, that's going to be above the soil too. But the crown has to stay above the soil, and the roots have to go below the soil and be completely covered. Now, see the edge of my garden bed there? I do not point any roots towards the edge of my garden bed on the row that's nearest to the edge because I don't want them to grow and hit that edge and then be stressed and not have a place to go. I mean, they'll figure it out and they'll go in another direction, but it puts more stress on the plant than I need to put on the plant. So let's talk about types of strawberries. There's a lot of different varieties, and I'm going to show you the 2 that I bought in this video here, but also there are types, and there are 2 main types of strawberries. There's June bearing, which will give you 1 blush of fruit all at one time, which a lot of people who preserve their own food and stuff like that, they like 1 harvest, boom, you're done. And there's everbearing, which will produce fruit throughout the growing season, and that's what I like for some reason at the moment. I'm just showing you some of the schmutz that's in this garden bed. It was dirt from another planter that I put in. I just break it up and it's going to decompose and it's going to be fertilizer for the strawberries. But I prefer the everbearing because you can still preserve that. Just keep a Ziploc bag in the freezer. And if you want to preserve your own food, you can just wash them, cut the tops off, and put them in the Ziploc bag. I love these. They all arrived healthy and beautiful. So I am really excited to see if these do anything. And spoiler alert, it's 24 hours later and I was just out in the garden and I filmed another video. These doubled. We had a downpour today and I did put a little bit of organic fertilizer down. So I'll link these garden beds. Well, I have these garden beds and also the fertilizer that I used, which is just an all-purpose fertilizer in my Amazon storefront. But they literally flippin' doubled in size. I can't believe it. It's incredible. See that little thing I'm pointing to? This thing, it kind of looks like a root, but a little different. These are called runners. From every plant, you will get runners. It puts off runners, which will root, and they will then put off other plants. That's just a bunch of measuring cups I bought in a thrift shop, and this is a brown plastic container that needs cleaned where I put all my fertilizers, but not my gloves because maybe spiders, and I'll have everything linked there. But these are doing really, really well so far. I'm super happy. This is the fertilizer that I put just a little over it. I can't even believe the size of it. And this green stalk is strawberries from that planter that I transplanted, and they are thriving in this also. Strawberries want to grow. So let me know if you're growing strawberries also.